With the upcoming remaster of Chrono Cross, Radical Dreamers on the horizon, we're going to take a look back at some of the facts you may or may not know about this amazing but often overlooked and underrated RPG game, as well as point out some of the new features and bonuses of the remaster. I'm Kev, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel as it really helps out this channel. And now let's hop into 10 things you didn't know about Chrono Cross. Probably. Although definitely, most likely, not a sequel to the beloved RPG Chrono Trigger, which some say is the greatest JRPG of all time, Chrono Cross borrows a lot of elements from a text-based visual novel adventure for the Satellaview called Radical Dreamers, which acts as a side story to Chrono Trigger. Even though they borrow elements like plot and characters from Radical Dreamers, Chrono Cross is and has always been its own separate game. If you buy the new remaster coming out, the Radical Dreamers novel will be included in the game, and this is the first time it's ever officially been released in the US. And of course, we have the age-old discussion as to whether Chrono Cross is a sequel to Chrono Trigger, but I'm going to let a quote from the game's director, Masasato Kato, explain. We didn't want to directly extend Chrono Trigger into a sequel, but create a new Chrono with links to the original. Yes, the platform changed, and yes, there were many parts that changed dramatically from the previous work, but in my view, the whole point in making Chrono Cross was to make a new Chrono with the best available skills and technologies of today. I never had any intentions of taking the system from Chrono Trigger and moving it into the PlayStation console. That's why I believe that Cross is Cross, not Trigger 2. Well, there you have it. One thing that Square boasted a lot back in the day when Chrono Cross first came out was its huge cast. 45 to be exact. Yeah, that's 45 characters you can get into your party. Each character came equipped with its own special move. Some of the criticisms of the game was that the cast was so big, and that led to some of the characters you get in your party not being developed at all. But with such a huge cast, that led to some fun naming in the game. Look at Grobice. At least I think that's how you pronounce it. Weird name, yes, but if you put that name to a mirror, you get Cyborg. Clever, Square. Clever. The name game doesn't stop there, as Haru's name in the Japanese version was Tsukuyomi, which is the name of the Japanese moon god. Once again, although not a sequel to Chrono Trigger, there was an attempt by Square to actually put more of Trigger into Cross. One of the forms of this was they were going to actually have the character Magnus in the game, which is from Chrono Trigger. But because he has kind of a complicated backstory, Square decided to scrap the idea. His part was then given to the character Guile as a result. Gameplay fact. Chrono Cross featured several innovations aimed at breaking new ground in the genre. First, the game didn't have a traditional leveling system. That whole experience and random encounters things that were seen so prevalently in Final Fantasy games, they're not here. In fact, like Chrono Trigger, you can avoid fights just by walking around enemies. Well, most of the time. But then you can just run away if you want to. Stats and buffs were mainly gained after beating bosses. The last thing unique to Chrono Cross was the implementation of the stamina bar. No, not like a Dark Souls stamina bar.
Put these foolish ambitions to rest.
When characters attack or use an element, stamina is decreased according to the potency of the attack. This is made for a quite unique gameplay, as it added another component to think about when in the middle of battle. One of the best things about Chrono Cross, and something that a lot of people do remember, is the game's soundtrack. In 2000 it won the Gold Prize for the PlayStation Awards, and its track Time Scar was voted first place in the Hardcore Gaming's 101's Best Video Game Music of All Time 2011 poll. Scored by freelance video game music composer Yasunori Matsuda, who previously worked on Chrono Cross and Square's other title Xenogears, the production required 6 months of work, but it was well worth it, especially since Matsuda's contract with Square gave him ownership and full rights to the soundtrack. With the game's killer soundtrack, it's no surprise that the game has a few references to a few rock legends. For example, in the game there's a rock star named Nikki, and that is a reference to the rock star Nikki Sixx of Motley Crue. There are also hidden boss characters of Ozzy, Flea, and Slash, which are references to Ozzy Osbourne of Black Sabbath, Flee from the Red Hot Chili Peppers, and Slash of Guns N' Roses. Along with the new battle system using the stamina bar and the fighting magical elements, the development team applied an accent-generating code in order to ease the burden of writing dialogue for each of the 45 characters. Originally, there was supposed to be 64 characters, which is a lot. That's a lot of writing. So when you play the game and you see some odd quirks with some of the accents, that's because a computer taking an American accent and then converting it into a French accent. So some of the dialogue choice of certain things might be odd. The game also has a small speedrunning community, with Mr. Dank currently holding the speedrunning record for Chrono Cross at 6 hours and 36 minutes and 20 seconds. If you're interested in breaking the record, here are 2 useful facts that will help you out shaving down those play times. First is holding down the cross button while roaming the world map. This will automatically allow you to enter locations as you approach them instead of having to press the cross button to enter them. Second is holding the circle button during text sections, which will speed you through the process, saving you precious seconds. With the release of Chrono Cross, the Radical Dreamers Edition, there will be graphical upgrades from the original. The facelift includes a shiny new HD resolution, as well as refined character illustrations, a background filter feature, the ability to switch between pixel font and an HD font, and the ability for players to change their on-screen resolution. So there you have it. There's a few cool Chrono Cross facts that hopefully maybe you didn't know. And if I missed any facts, let me know those facts in the comments below. I'd really love to hear them. Please don't forget to like and subscribe, as there's more videos coming up the way. I got a very big documentary on a certain game coming that I should be able to reveal more about soon. Once again, I'm Kev. Thanks for watching. Until next time.